single ply for. That project saves the company about $8 million. Still saving that money today. But, you know, at the end of the day, this hardly delights consumers. It's the thing that gets tossed. So that didn't matter. So what have I done? Well, most of these retirement things come back to me. For me, it's my PVPs. Procter & Gamble talks a lot about its PVPs. It's my PVPs. Did I succeed at that? You know, P&G's got its list. I've got my own list. My own list is don't think too highly of yourself. I really am not that important. I'm part of a much, much larger team. So don't think too highly of yourself. Excel in showing honor to others. Help other people. Don't always help yourself. Sometimes the work is difficult. Treat others with respect. Be fair. Show respect both up and down the hierarchical chain, especially down. I don't want to be one of those people who shows deference only to those who are superior to me. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want to be that person. Don't think you're smarter than you are. Well, that one really applies to me. There are a whole lot of mistakes that I'm leaving behind me. But when you make them, learn from them and move on. They're just mistakes. The important thing is learn from them. Focus on the important or the noble things. Don't let the petty stuff get in the way. Live at peace with everyone. Sometimes there have been some difficult situations, but I can tell you, honestly, that with 38 bosses, I've never, ever had a bad boss. Ever. So live at peace with everyone. I know that's not profound. Things you could have learned in kindergarten, right? Truth is, these principles were written 2,000 years ago by a guy named Paul. It was contained in a letter that he wrote to some folks who were living in Rome at the time. Let me read a few of his words, and I promise you this is short. For by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment. We all have different gifts. If serving, then serve. If teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. If it is giving, then give generously. If it is to lead, do so diligently. If it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. Honor one another above yourself. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. Do not repay anyone evil for evil, but be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. I can tell you I didn't live this all the time. I can tell you this wasn't fashioned from day one. It was an evolution. And to the extent that I failed in living any of these with you, forgive me. I'm just human, but I'm forgiven. To the extent that I succeeded in doing any of these, and I got to tell you, I've always been a person who has never at work at Procter & Gamble wore his Christianity on his sleeve, but today I must. To the extent that I succeeded in doing any of these, the honor does not go to Dan Jones, the honor goes to Jesus Christ. Because he made me able to do that if I succeeded. The only other measure of success or legacy that I leave behind is my wife okay? And are my kids okay? Because a 41-year career at Procter & Gamble is a hard thing. You all know that. You live it day in and day out. It's good work, but it's tough work. And let me just read you the text that I got. Actually, two texts. Happy last day of work ever. I am so proud of you and all you've done for our family and, more importantly, our Savior, Jesus Christ. You are such a hard and humble worker. I am so excited that you have time to rest and travel and be with friends and family. Love you, Dad. Thanks, Dad. We should get more time again soon. I am awestruck how generous God has been to have blessed me with a father like you. I'm amazed and motivated with how convinced you have been with God's goodness and His truth. It has always been a grounding point in my own life. So if I succeeded there, that's my legacy. That's my legacy. It has been my distinct pleasure to work with you and to get to know you. You are great folk. You represent the great folk that I have worked with for many, many years. Jeremy, you had already said some of these things about me. Thank you very much for saying that. That means worlds to me. Thanks, folks.
We've got Dan and Becky for a little while. Come talk to them.